Hey guys, Music Ninja Matt here, and I'm going to be talking about WrestleMania 34. I waited a while to do this video, just because for one, it meant I could watch the highlights of Raw and SmackDown after Mania, and I just needed some time to really dwell on WrestleMania, because my instant reaction was just pure anger and disappointment to this event. Going in, I was very excited for this WrestleMania. I thought it was a solid card, but there was just a lot that kind of let me down. We had the overly long, unnecessary pre-show as usual. Matt Hardy winning the Andre Battle Royal was pretty cool. There was no one in this. It was all tag teams, all jobbers. There was Baron and Matt, and that was about it. I was excited that Bray Wyatt came back, but disappointed because he's just Bray Wyatt. They didn't repackage him, and him and Matt look like they're going to be a team. The Cruiserweight match was actually my second favourite match of the night, because I loved that their attitude was just, this is WrestleMania. Yes, we're on the pre-show, but we've just got to make the best of it. And it was just a solid, hard-hitting, high-flying match, and I just enjoyed the hell out of it. I thought it was so well done. The only thing that got annoying was how often they were like, oh, this is the heart and soul of the Cruiserweights. We got to see a little bit of the movie about Paige's life, Fighting With My Family, which actually looks really good. The clip with The Rock was just solid, and I'm actually really excited to see the film. We had the Women's Battle Royal, which was cool that there were so many NXT women in, and the Riot Squad got to look pretty solid in this. The ending was interesting, because you had Bayley kind of, let's give a hug to Sasha and a handshake, and she threw Sasha out. And we're like, whoa, this is huge for Bayley. But then Naomi was still in, and I'm like, okay, I get you've built up on that Bayley-Sasha rivalry. But Naomi gets another WrestleMania moment, I guess, but it just seems stupid to me that she won. Then we got onto the main card. This triple threat intercontinental match, I didn't hate it, but it felt like it was over extremely quickly. They just played with some weird stuff, like with Miz. He sent the Miztourage to the back. He came across as like, I know I'm going to be a hard-working face, and then they undid it on Raw anyway. I'm fine with Seth winning, because now he's Grand Slam Seth. I really wanted Miz to win. I always want Miz to win these matches and just keep showing that he's making the title prestigious. And there wasn't any extreme big moments for me. Probably the biggest moment that I was like, wow, was Miz did the skull crushing finale off the top rope, which they were like, oh, a bulldog. And I'm like, no, that's not what it was. In the women's match, I think everyone was shocked. By the women's match, I mean the SmackDown title match, that the streak ended. And it makes Charlotte look really good. Like, Charlotte is just the most solid women's wrestler they've got. So I'm happy for her, but with Asuka, it would have been better, I think, let her have the title and continue this streak, because people wanted to see, like, Asuka Ronda at next year's WrestleMania. But the match was just amazing, had some really good moments, just big spots, and it felt like a big match, like it should. We kept having shots of Cena sat with the fans, and then he runs off because he's been told that Undertaker's arrived, and it just turned into a meme in seconds. Jinder won a really disappointing US title match. He would have been the last person I wanted to win. I was disappointed they took the title off of Bobby. If you're going to give the title to Randy, let him run with it. Rusev is so over. No, they gave it to Jinder. Also, just wanted to point out how much I hate WWE sponsor adverts where they just get superstars to make jackasses of themselves, and it's just sad. We had then my favourite match of the night, which was Ronda and Kurt versus Hunter and Steph. This match was just so good, because as far as a wrestling match goes, not a lot of wrestling happened, but just from an entertainment point of view, from Ronda taking on Triple H and putting him in the armbar, and Steph actually got a couple of shots in, but they were playing the proper dastardly heels, and every time we were like, right, this is it, it's over. The match kept going, and they could have done the double tap out and they didn't, and Kurt got Steph in an ankle lock, and there was just so much amazing stuff going on. Kurt and Triple H looked like they couldn't really do a lot, which was sad. But you saw Ronda literally get more and more comfortable as the match went on, and she remembered to just like trash talk and really just enjoy being in this environment. We had the SmackDown tag team title match where the Bludgeon Brothers won in like 5 minutes, and I get you want them to come across as monsters, but being as Usos and New Day usually steal the show, this was disappointing. Then we had something where I was just like, I don't know what to make of it. Cena comes out, they're like, Undertaker's not coming down. Then obviously it goes dark and Elias comes out. Yeah, I don't really like Elias at all. He just annoys the shit out of me, which I guess is the point, but still. My reaction was just, are they really not doing... Like, they have to do the Undertaker thing, but how are they going to do it? And Cena just sort of decks Elias, and then Undertaker comes out. I really wanted something different. Not the dead man, just something different. But then the hat and coat appeared, disappeared, and I was like, oh, great. No surprises at all. A rubbish build to this of John Cena just moaning. We get the same old Undertaker, Elias for no reason. And then they had a 2-minute match. And Undertaker squashed Cena. And my first reaction was just like, I hate this. What's the point? But then I kind of went, hang on, John Cena just got squashed at WrestleMania by Undertaker. And it was literally a way of Undertaker got all his shit in. He did all his classic moves. He did seem to be moving a bit better. And as well, I think if this was the plan, you can't go Undertaker, John Cena, this huge match, and then do it in 2 minutes, because people might have got a bit upset. But if you go, oh, it might not happen, people are just grateful it did. We had Daniel Bryan's return match. His entrance was incredible. He gets taken out, and Shane somehow is able to take on Kevin and Sammy with, like, he's got like 3 injuries, but because Shane is just, can really take all the damage in the world, he was able to fend them off. And then when Daniel got in, it was another moment of just Daniel got all his shit in. And all these moves we love seeing him do, he was able to just do them all and win the match. And there's a lot of places they can go with Kevin and Sammy, so that's fine. We had the happy win for Nia Jax. I love the fact that she just, like, destroys Mickie James, and the way Alexa acted during this, like, when she just screamed and ran away. I thought it was a good feel-good moment, a good way to round out the rivalry as well. They also, on the little title card, had that AJ Styles was the Universal Champ, which I picked up on like a hawk. Shinsuke versus AJ, and I've heard pretty much everyone say it, was disappointing. The only big wow moment for me was Shinsuke went for the knee, AJ counters it into the Styles Clash, and I thought, oh, this is a cool spot, and then the match ended, and I was like, oh, okay. Shin turning heel was quite cool. The only issue is, it seemed like WrestleMania is supposed to be the payoff of most things, not the start of a rivalry, not a tease. So we got this very kind of straightforward match. Shinsuke turns, and they're like, because better stuff's coming. And I'm like, oh, cool. But I really wanted this nuts 5-star match at Mania. Braun's mystery partner was Nicholas, and I found out that Nicholas is actually John Cone's son. This was weird. Again, from a storyline point of view, I get it. Braun just gets a child and still wins the tag titles because he's like, I can do it on my own. I'm just that much of a badass. And it's this weird moment, and at this point people are just cheering for Nicholas because they're like, we don't know what's going on anymore. But to me, I was a bit like, oh, I thought we were going to get a return or a debut. Like, this was an interesting place to go with this match. Then to round out the night, Brock Lesnar won, which shocked everyone. Roman Reigns kicks out of 5 F5s. John Cena can't kick out of 1 tombstone. Fuck Roman. At this point, he's already shown he's weak on the mic, has no moves whatsoever, apart from the Superman punch and the spear. The crowd is just not connecting with him. And if we as the fans really do hold the keys to who gets pushes and all that kind of bollocks, then, you know, fuck Roman. And yeah, apparently Brock was pissed off after the match because of the bad reception that he got. With Raw and SmackDown, I just watched the highlights on YouTube because, like, fuck am I watching a 3-hour Raw. So on Raw, Ronda came out. It was a really cool moment where Steph's like, we could do so much together, you proved you're the better woman, and blah blah blah, and Ronda's there smiling away, and then Ronda's smile just disappears, and once again she gets Steph in the armbar. Not only was the crowd going mental, but I love how Ronda just went, what? And just kept smiling and shrugging at, like, all the refs and whatnot. Our new Raw Tag Team Champions relinquished the titles. It was one of those moments where I'm going, why win them just to get rid of them the next night? But the way they did it was quite funny when Braun's like, oh, he has a scheduling conflict, does Nicholas, because, you know, he's still in the 4th grade. But people have pointed out, we've had the same tag teams over and over again, but now we've got new tag teams have come up, like Authors of Pain, but you've got people like the Revival and stuff as well. In the titles being relinquished, it gives all these newer teams a chance to get in the mix. Yeah, we got some NXT debuts, we got Bobby Lashley returning, a lot of new people being thrown into the mix, which I like but also worries me, where I'm like, you already have so many talent you don't use, and now you're just adding more. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if people at this rate just went, can I stay in NXT please, because I'll be moved to the main roster and nothing will happen. Paige had her retirement speech, which I thought was so well done. The crowd was so respectful towards her and their chants were great, and I like how it was just a very sort of simple thank you and goodbye. Joe came back and challenged Roman, and Joe was just awesome, where he was like, look, Roman, you always buckle, and I'm just going to kick the shit out of you at Backlash. And I was like, yes, Team Joe. One moment I really liked was, obviously, Jeff came back, but when Jeff is talking to Matt Hardy, and then Bray appears and he goes, Brother Nero, and they hug. And this idea that Bray's not repackaged, but he's free from Sister Abigail. He's no longer going to be this creepy cult leader. He's kind of just this badass guy, and I think if they could really do something with him here. The only other moment that really stood out to me was the fact that obviously Sammy and Kevin both turned up. They wanted a job. Kurt dropped that line of, I've heard TNA's hiring, and everyone lost their shit. But then it ended in a no contest, and neither of them got a job on Raw because they had to face each other. So I'm wondering where they'll go from there. On SmackDown, Paige was named the new GM. This is awesome. If she can't compete, she wants to be part of the company. It's a really good role for her. And I think she did look a little bit awkward, but she played off the crowd well. And I think the more she gets into it, she'll be really good in this role. 2 matches that I was like, I don't understand. So Usos became number 1 contenders for the tag titles. That's cool, I guess. But then Orton became number 1 contender for the US title, which I was like, for fuck's sake, it should have been Rusev. But why? Why? There's no surprise here. So the former champs are now the number 1 contenders. No shit. It's just stupid. We had Billy and Peyton debut, and their debut was actually really well received, because I like how they ripped on Charlotte just for, like, you're a goody two-shoes face, and you come out and you thank everyone, and it's so annoying. And I don't agree with that, but I love that as a subject matter for them to talk about. They beat the crap out of Charlotte, and Carmella cashed in. And it was upsetting to see Charlotte come off this huge win and lose the title. And I'm just a bit like, is Carmella really ready to be the face of SmackDown? Like, I like Carmella, but I don't think she's at that level yet, but we'll have to see. The only other thing is, obviously, heel Nakamura being amazing when he's talking about it, going, why did you attack AJ? And he's like, guess I got too emotional. Sarcastically plays it off, and he attacks Daniel Bryan and AJ in the main event. And as well, what a fucking main event. The fact that they're like, oh, Daniel Bryan's back, yeah, Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles. We'll just have this incredible match, this incredible dream match on SmackDown, and I'm there like, fair play, that's really cool, and it makes Paige look great for making the match. But yeah, that was everything that kind of stood out to me. I was disappointed with Mania. With Raw and SmackDown, it was like, there were some cool moments, and usually they start ramping things up at this time of year, because they've said WrestleMania is almost like the end. Like, you work all year to get to Mania, and then you get your fresh start. We've got the Superstar Shake-Up coming up, which I'm quite excited for. I think depending on what happens at Superstar Shake-Up, I might make a video for it, just if anything massive happens. It's usually like 1 or 2 big names get moved, and then loads of random people. But yeah, what did you guys think about Mania and Raw and SmackDown? Were there any big moments for you that I didn't mention? Do you completely disagree with me that it was a disappointment? I've seen very mixed reviews. Some people have been giving Mania like an 8 and a 9, and other people like a 2 or a 3. Like, people are very divided on it. I think my last Mania I really loved was 31. Whenever Seth cashed in, I just loved that Mania so much. But yeah, thank you for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, as it really helps the channel out. Check out the links down below in the description, and I will see you all in the next one. Too sweet.